Well, we're inching closer to the end of the year, and it is now essential to review your financial checklist, especially if you're required to take minimum distributions from retirement accounts. What, you say? What is that all about? Well, that's what we're discussing today with Erin Lapidus. She's the president and retirement coach with JBL Financial Services. And first, let's talk about these required minimum distributions. We talked with Jill earlier. I'm sure you heard that.
Yes.
And she kind of led into that a little bit. But what is a required minimum distribution? It sounds kind of scary.
Nothing to be concerned about. The great thing is required minimum distributions essentially affect everyone that has a retirement account. So that's a 401k, 403b, IRA account. When you turn 73, the IRS says it's now time to start taking a minimum amount from those accounts.
Okay. So does that apply? That 73 age applies to everybody. That's not, there's nobody that's grandfathered in at 70 or anything like that.
No, exactly. A couple of years ago, they increased the age from 70 and a half to 73. And the nice thing is you get to take advantage of that every time they raise the age. If you haven't attained that particular age yet, you get to wait.
You're hopefully just behind that line on that. That's good. So this is something I don't think a lot of people really worry about because they feel like that's so far down the road, I'm not going to worry about that. And then they find themselves in a position where they haven't had to take distributions from their savings. How do we manage that?
Certainly. So you're in a great place if you are not in need of taking distributions from your retirement accounts, because that means you're living off of Social Security, maybe some pension. But when you reach 73, the government says you have to take about 4% from your pre-tax retirement account. So that doesn't include Roths, but it does include IRAs, 401ks, like we just mentioned. And so, for example, if you've been a great saver and you've saved about $500,000 maybe in your retirement accounts, that means you need to take a $20,000 distribution at any point the year that you turn 73. So it can be January 2nd or it can be December 31st, but it just has to be out of that account by the end of the year so the government gets their tax money.
You don't have to take it all at once, do you?
Certainly not. You can take it over a monthly basis, and what we find is most clients in retirement, at least that we work with, are already taking about 4% from their retirement accounts in conjunction with Social Security to make their income work.
I wanted to ask you about that because it just seemed unusual that happens to be 4%, because I've heard in the past about the 4% drawdown on your savings that theoretically, if we're making 6% and we're drawing down 4%, our money should last forever through retirement.
That's right.
But it's just a coincidence.
It is a coincidence because what happens is as you get older, that percentage starts to rise, and by the time you get to around 90 years old, it's close to 10%. So they're wanting to accelerate the tax savings you did throughout the years while you were working. They want to reverse that and have you start paying taxes.
So it's a good time of year to go back and check on that. And I got to tell you, I've talked with them down at JBL, and it's the greatest group. Now, tell us real quick about your radio show, because I think it's a great 2 hours on a Saturday morning.
Thank you. Saturday morning on the Big 550 KTRS, we have a radio show, starts at 9 a.m., runs till 11, and we talk about not only required minimum distributions, but planning for retirement, how to game plan for your retirement, for your investments, and we also talk Medicare and insurance, life insurance. We really try to cover everything that gives people a little insecurity as they're approaching retirement.
It's a great show. I'm out and about on Saturday mornings. I listen to it all the time. You should all tune in. Great tips. Thank you, Erin. We appreciate JBL Financial Services. Give them a call today, 314-863-0008, or you can find them on the web at jblfinancial.com.